Hi, I'm Justin. This is JD Movie Review. Today I'll be reviewing The Great Gatsby. It is a novel written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Typically a book that most of you probably even got the chance to even read during high school. It's a really popular book that they usually had in English class. In fact, one of my favorites I actually even got to read in high school. And in case, for those of you that don't know the story and haven't read the book, I'm going to go ahead and give like a kind of brief description of what the whole story is about. It's really made up of a bunch of like intricate, complex parts that all fit together to make up the story. And even though I say it's kind of complex, it is quite easy to follow. But one of the major parts of it is this separation of the social classes, and also looking in kind of in their social lives and how it all like works. When I say separation, I actually literally mean there is a separation of two of the main social classes, which is the old rich and the new rich, and they actually have their own separate items for each class. The old rich live in a island called East Egg, and the new rich live on the opposite side of them in West Egg. And then there's like all these other parts, like of course it's involves this tragic love story. There's also all involved this kind of underlying concept, basically they try to get across to the viewers that money can't always buy you happiness, sure, without a lack of trying, as you're going to see in the film. And then in the center of all of this, between like the story of the separation of social classes, and then this love story, and this concept, love, you can't buy it with money and stuff like that. In the center of all of this, the attention is focused on this character called Gatsby, or Jay Gatsby. And he first is known because in the movie, like you'll see, he throws these huge parties, these huge lavish parties that people just literally come in droves to be at. And the interesting thing about it is that really nobody actually knows him. They come to his party, but no one really knows him, because for every truth they might have heard about Gatsby, there's at least like 100 other lies that go along with every story they heard. And like I said, it's just a really interesting story with all these neat, complex parts. And it's really one of the, I would put it as one of the, like, even in the top 2 greatest tragic love stories. I would say, even more than anything, it's about this tragic love story that ensues in the story. So, anyway, that's like the synopsis of how the story goes. As for like what I think about it, I actually thought it was quite a good movie. I was, in fact, even though I think it's good, I was quite surprised. I looked it up before I started recording this. It actually got only a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, so apparently, at least in the Hollywood spotlight, I don't really know exactly who reviews it. It didn't do very well, but it did get at least an 88 for audience rating. So audience liked it. It's, I guess Rotten Tomatoes, whoever their editors are, whoever actually does the reviews, they didn't find it too good. I thought it was a great, like, modern update of a classic novel. They have all this music that actually is literally like modernized of like 20s jazz music, mixed together with a lot of rap and R&B music. A lot of the music wasn't really some of my favorite parts of the movie, just because it was good. Like I said, I liked how it was modernized, but I kind of wish they might have been broader with just sticking to rap and R&B. And although it kind of fits with this jazz theme, actors definitely were like on key. I love the actors that they chose for this, and I was actually kind of surprised. Maybe it was just because it's been a while since I've actually seen a movie adaptation or even read the book. I was surprised that Tobey Maguire, I was trying to remember his name for a second, was actually really the biggest star of the film, which I was kind of thinking would be more focused on Gatsby's character, but really because I guess the story is told or narrated through Tony Maguire's character. There's a lot more involving with him, even though the story is focused on Gatsby. He gets most of the parts in there, and he was great. In fact, it really makes me wish that he would focus a lot more attention on this. Although I know he's done mostly these kind of roles, excluding of course Spider-Man, which I never really felt he fit that role at all. I loved at least the first two, even though I didn't really particularly like him playing that character. But I really feel like he's meant to play these kind of dramatized roles. He's a lot better in those type of films, such as some of my favorites are Pleasantville, and then there's also Cider House Rules. Those are two great examples of dramatic roles he's playing. And I also feel like he also can do some comedy, maybe just dramatized comedy, but yeah, he's great in this. The lead female role. Anyway, so the female lead role in this, I was entirely thrilled with it. It was Carey Mulligan, I believe. I looked at the name for. Mostly because even in scenes where she was supposed to be at least happy, she always, like, in fact, it doesn't really seem to matter what scene she's in, she always had this look that she could be happy but at the same time sad in any scene. She was supposed to be, you know, happy in this scene, but she also kind of looked sad. She had this same kind of, like, I don't know, just emotions she played throughout the whole movie, and I don't know if that's maybe just how she wanted to play that character. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it would fit that. Just, I don't know, I feel like she could have shown a broader range of emotions. It always seemed she's just showing the same kind of emotion throughout the entire film. I didn't really entirely enjoy that. Then, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know how did you say anything really bad about him in almost any role except for, of course, The Beach. But I'm not going to get into that because that movie just upsets me. But I think he's really great in just about every role he plays because he really immerses himself in, like, every role he's ever played. He just does a great job at whatever he does, almost always anyway. But yeah, that's my take on the movie. It's a great novel. Oh, it's a great novel adaptation. I'd still recommend seeing it, despite the ratings on it don't seem that great right now. But yeah, I think it's just a great story to go and see. So I totally recommend going to watch it. Anyway, now as I said in one of the last episodes, I'm going to switch up now and do some movie news. I'm just going to go over one story because it's a long story, but it's actually quite an interesting story. One of the weirdest things I've ever heard coming out of Hollywood. So there's this movie that's coming out that some of you might have heard of, with Natalie Portman starring in it. It's a Western called Jane Got a Gun. I don't know really much about the plot to it besides it's a Western, but that's not really the point right now. The interesting thing is first there's this whole hassle that started with the cast a while back. They originally had this cast of Joel Edgerton playing the villain in the movie. Then they're going to have Michael Fassbender play the good guy in the film alongside Natalie Portman's character. Well, Michael Fassbender can't do the film because he ends up having conflicts with his schedule due to the new X-Men Days of Future Past film he's working on. So now he's out, but then Jude Law gets signed on, and he ends up taking the villain spot. Joel Edgerton moves over to playing the hero now, alongside Natalie Portman, and they're supposed to now be fully set to start shooting the film. then another just big surprise just happens. Everyone shows up. The whole production crew is there. They have the actors there. They're supposed to start shooting, and then all of a sudden, we have no director on set. Director just plums aside, I'm not going to be here. And from everything I've heard about the story, no one's actually gotten any good story on what happened to this director. She just went and just left the project with no word or anything. I don't have her name. I've not really seen any of her work. I did hear she did this movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin, I think is the name of the title, something along those lines. She hasn't done anything super popular, and it seems absolutely ridiculous. Someone who doesn't have a lot of, credibility right now would just leave a project and not give any good excuse as to why. So then they had to find a new director, and they found the director of the movie. Actually, Joel Edgerton's actually more famous for doing The Warrior. They got the director from that movie, so they got a new director now. Then more casting issues ensue once more, because then suddenly Jude Law's like, wait, I signed on to work with our previous director. I don't want to work with this director. That's not what I signed on for. So now he's gone as well. So again, they have the villain spot is vacant. They're already way behind on their production schedule, and now they have to find a new villain once more. And just like I believe it was last week, I heard they finally now got again the villain role filled in, and now it's going to be played by Ewan McGregor. So there's your movie news for you. I'll try to give you any updates on this, because this is just a crazy interesting story. I've never in my life heard of a movie having this much trouble, especially with the director not showing up. That's got to be just unheard of. So there's your JD movie reviews for today, and hopefully we'll be getting out to you my review of Star Trek Into the Darkness. That one might take a little bit longer for me to get done, just because next week I'm a little bit busier because I'm going to the Phoenix Comic-Con, so it could take me a little bit longer. But anyway, this is JD Movie Review, and I am signing out. Goodbye.